Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by our ISAC virtual booth. Should you have any questions, feel free to click the chat button for immediate assistance or click the register interest button and we will follow up with you. I am Greg Davis, owner of Solutions, and since this was our 35-year anniversary, I was requested to give a little background history on our company. So here's the PowerPoint. To nail this down, I have focused on three main points. How we got our start, IBM was involved, our software products and how you, the counties, push us in the right direction, and a summary of where we are today. In the fall of 1983, the IBM Sioux Falls branch invited my employer at the time, Computech, to send a representative to IBM business partner meetings. I ended up going. IBM was trying to figure out how to get the software programmers to write for their mid-range systems. The IBM System 38 had been out for a while, and the System 36 had just been released. As a developer, we already started working with the IBM System 34. This consisted of a box the size of a dumpster that you would cable dumb workstations and dot matrix printers to. This allowed multiple people to work on the same files at the same time and did not require a service bureau. These systems did one thing very well, and that was business transactions, input, output, and database. In our case, the perfect programming environment for local government. In 1984, the owner of Computech moved to Tucson, Arizona. At first, I was handling simple management, some design, but mostly sales. During this period, negotiations started with the goal of separating the Iowa government applications from the rest of Computech's applications and creating a new company. In 1986, GMD Solutions was born, doing business as Solutions. So where did the name Solutions come from? I had attended an IBM lecture from a University of Georgia professor on starting a computer business. His recommendation was to use a neutral name in defining your business. He gave numerous examples of businesses that started doing one thing and ended up being successful doing another. So after a lot of thought, the Solutions name was chosen. The double quotes were deliberate. On computer databases, the quote marks came up first on the list before letters and numbers, so we were always first in line. With today's parsed data fields, though, the quotes unfortunately get dropped and get sent off to computer purgatory. Someone finally figured out what we were up to. Due to a conflict with another company in Iowa, we had to use the GMD Solutions, DBA Solutions, until the Solutions Inc. was made available. To this day, various vendors and some customers still have our name listed in their database as GMD Solutions, which is fine. We still use that on our website and email, and as solutions.com was taken a long time ago. In 1988, IBM introduced the Application System 400, also known as the AS400. It took the best of System 38 for its relational database and the best of System 36 for its ease of use and combined them into one package. The IBM system became the most successful of IBM's mid-range computing products. Unfortunately, in 2008, IBM retired the name AS400. We now have the IBM I that runs on a Power processor. The Power-based architecture runs a variety of operating systems, primarily the IBM I, Linux, and AIX. So why is the Power architecture important? A big factor is that 2 of the top 10 supercomputers in the world run on Power architecture, basically the same chip that's in many courthouses. The current roadmap for the IBM I operating system extends out beyond 2038. When we purchased the software from our predecessor, Solutions started with 25 counties on the books. In the first 2 months in business, we signed 5 more. As we started the company, we had a few simple values. Do the right thing, no matter how much it hurts. Pay people for what they're worth. The employees get paid before the owners do. Provide the best benefits that the company can afford. The owner gets the same benefits as everyone else. And do not overcharge nor undercharge your customers. If you undercharge, you cannot do the first 3. When writing programs, work backwards from what you expect the results to be. Both the programmer and the user will be more successful if you do. and do the best you can. We're going to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning anything new. Own up to your mistakes, learn from them, and fix the problem. As one of the owners, I had a couple more goals for myself. As a manager, try to make at least 51% of your decisions the right decisions. That came from one of my old bosses. And do not get greedy. Our software started out with basic applications for the auditor's office, engineer's office, treasurer's office, assessor's office, real estate, and the recorder's office. In 1986, the big differentiator between us and others marketing in the state, though, is that our company was the only software company with separate accounting general ledgers, one for the auditor and one for the treasurer. It provided and still provides a true checks and balance between the two offices as per state code, as the IO code was originally defined. If I were going to point out the one very specific product that defined our success, it would be that. In the early days, we were blessed with people with experience working with or in county government. They are very good at filtering the information they collected from our end users as to what was needed on a day-to-day basis for what the application software needed to do. Over time, the applications were rewritten considering execution, performance, and future needs. Last year, when talking to a treasurer before the pandemic, he expressed it better than I'd ever heard before. My memory's not as good as it used to be, so I hope he won't mind if I paraphrase. Greg, what I love about your software is that it is process-driven. Your package does not require my staff to deal with debits and credits, balance sheets, or batch processing. If they want to balance their daily cash, they balance their daily cash. You have programs in place that help us find and correct our errors. We run month end, and if it balances, everything is posted correctly in the correct accounts. Reports are created, electronically indexed, and stored on disk. I had never heard it described that way before. It felt good that he saw the value in the process. Over the years, we have developed over 25 specialty applications for Iowa County government. We have fine-tuned and added numerous new applications and features that touch most functions in the assessor's office, auditor's office, engineer's office, recorder's office, and the treasurer's office. The key to these systems is that they're completely integrated, but when necessary, they can stand alone independently. We even supply modules that interface to other applications, such as the state CSN package, Vanguard appraisals, and GIS systems. Paperless. We did our first digital integration in 1992. It was a few years before we sold the first one. These came in two flavors: digital output systems that can capture your monthly reports, index those listings, and store them to disk, and document index listings. We started out by doing basic scanning, but that has become so much more. We now have our latest product, Document Locator Document Management. Solutions now supports an integrated or standalone document management system, covering every office in the courthouse, not just those offices that run on the IBMI. The new software can index and manage everything from recorder to files, scanned documents, PDFs, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, to AutoCAD records. 30 plus game-changing and time-saving different workflow processes are now being handled at the county level. Vision. This was our second try at a graphical interface. Before our Vision release, we had, with varying degrees of success, attempted to move to an updated graphical user interface. Say that 3 times fast. But in 2016, we finally achieved that goal. We had spent the previous year separating the user interface from the computing logic behind it. We knew we wanted the same process-driven applications, but new people hired at courthouses were used to Windows and the internet, and they wanted to see something that looked the same. The new development process accomplished a couple of things. It allowed us to move from a software application on the desktop to a browser. Previously, we were limited to PCs running Microsoft Windows systems. Now, if a user wants to have an Apple Mac on their desk, they can have an Apple Mac on their desk. As long as the system has a browser, it can be used for Vision. From a programmer's perspective, the new interface uses current tools being taught in current computer development classes being offered. We have multiple young programmers now on staff to handle future changes. In addition to the user interface, new programming languages are also now available to our developers. With the right credentials, outside developers can also pull data direct from our core databases. Anything that works with the various SQL languages can now have access. This includes popular languages such as PHP, Python, and .NET, just to name a few. The Vision programs may look different. They may have new functions. There may be new features that allow for more Windows interfaces, such as Excel and other products. But since the computing logic is the same as it has always been, you can rest assured that the applications simply work. The new interface also allows the option of displaying documents as a PDF on the screen in an email, or send the PDF to the printer without any special interface cards. As counties move to cloud-based computing, we have already future-proofed our software without additional fees. Vision is already run by different agencies in the cloud. When you're ready for the next step, let us know. Another key differentiator has been we have been extremely blessed with the employees that became part of our family. The longevity of our core staff has made it possible to supply the level of support and the knowledge base that we can bring to the table. For example, Max Elk has 20 years and he's now our head of operations. Chuck Pitts, who's our vice president of programming, has 33 years. Joel Rose, 33 years. Raleigh Hansen, 31 years. Allison Herman, 29 years. Deb Count, 23 years. Becky Appadal, 21 years. Linda Manwarn, 20 years. Lair Nielsen, 18 years. Steve Laundreville, who's now retired, 18 years. And Monica Peterson, who is one of our original team, 29 years, is also retired. A whole new group is being trained as we continue to serve our users. Sam Huffman and Jesse Espinoza, database programming. Eric Rosales, Jody Stoll and Stuffville, application support. Bridget Adengast, reception. Carrie Wenk, administrative assistant. Joshua Klein, in-house sales. And then a brand new position was added in 2018. We needed a way to communicate and listen more effectively to our clients. So we created the position of Client Field Advocate. The position was filled by Linda Griggs, and she has become a key component of our customer support strategy. Linda was an assessor, auditor, but started out in county government in the treasurer's office. There have also, over the years, been other supporting players that added to the breadth and depth of our products. Finally, we come back to the technical side. Over the last 35 years, as we went from dumb terminals and dot matrix printers to network personal computers, servers, and laser printers, we learned that not all companies understood the county government work pace. It is not that companies were out there providing a disservice. These, usually back then new companies, had limited education with a variety of platforms. For example, they might only know Novell networking. When Novell slowly went out of business, so did these companies. Even for in-house IT, if you only know one technology, it is difficult to get the knowledge needed to support multiple platforms. Years ago, we saw that there was a huge need for a diverse group, supplying, in addition to IBM support, network support. And yes, we supported Novell along with multiple other network technologies: firewall, router security, imaging system, printing technologies, desktops, servers, storage systems, and cloud backup. We started small with just one or two tech support personnel. As more people were added, more focused education has been required. This has included certifications in a wide variety of products from IBM to Cisco to Microsoft. Solutions hold certifications in around 11 different manufacturers and about another 3 to 4 non-certified technologies. This group of people has now grown to its own division known as TechServe. This group provides installation, tech support, troubleshooting, managed services, education, 24-hour online support, BCDR, and we have recently upped our game on security services. The TechServe staff consists of Mike Barr, he's our managed services coordinator and security lead, Alexander Hamilton, our system engineer, Tom Sheeman, system engineer, Dalton Thurman, system administrator, Derek Larson, system administrator, Josh Phelps, help desk, Ian Kolb, help desk, and Mandy Allers handles our dispatch. Finally, we come to web design in Inukshuk. Inukshuk stands for the right path. In 2012, when I asked Max Alec to come back to Solutions, he brought his company Inukshuk with him. We run this as a separate entity that specializes in website design and hosting. Max continues to manage this company in addition to his primary job as Solutions Head of Operations. I forgot the fancy slide things that he put together for me. Here we go. Continuing to manage this company in addition to his primary job as Solutions Head of Operations. He is joined by Zach Errett and Jude Nangoli, website design SQL database. The last 35 years for Solutions have been significant in what we provided to county government. Both the counties, the computer industry, and Solutions have grown up together. I have a few ideas what the future will hold, but I think it's the turn of the next group of computer whiz kids that chart their own paths. Thank you for your time, and I hope you appreciate this.